Hello and welcome to the Drummergy podcast.
Hello.
The live and interactive show about life and music. I'm here with the producer, Mary Fisher.
Hello. Hello.
And the Drummergy podcast is sponsored by 12th Fret Music, the Pacific Northwest's largest inventory of new, used, and vintage guitars, basses, amps, and accessories.
That's right.
We love Rob Ridgway. I got to go down and see Rob. I gotta go make my visit to 12th Fret Music and see what's up, what's going down.
We should go down and pick up a couple electric guitars.
Okay, so you said like a day or two ago.
Where was that episode about asking your spouse
how to tell your wife you need more gear?
Yeah, how to tell your husband you need more guitars.
Well, so the other day, Mary and I were talking about gift giving, right? About birthdays and stuff. Was that the conversation?
I don't know. I don't even know what you're about to say. I'm nervous, though. You got me nervous.
No, there's nothing to be nervous about.
Right.
No, we were talking about gift giving, and like as we got older, we were feeling like,
oh yeah.
You don't really. I mean,
that was Saturday. Yeah,
it's nice to go to dinner or whatever, or have people over and just hang out, right?
However, well, it kind of started with the discussion of, because we ran into somebody we know while we were at the coffee shop,
the Lockerbies,
and so he was talking about, like, we're at this age where there's not really anything we want, like, tangible.
We don't want stuff.
We want experiences and stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I'm like, yeah, that's totally true. I'm like, there's not really. If you say, what do you want for Christmas? I'm not like, oh, well, I've got to have this and this and this and this.
Right.
I'm usually like,
But as we were
more of like something I need, like, well, I'm, like,
yeah,
like the kids. Well, I could use more underwear. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Toothpaste.
Underwear is appreciated as an adult. You're like, oh, please let me get underwear. Right.
As a kid, reminds me. Like... That reminds me. I think Elliot said he needed underwear.
Uh-oh.
For his birthday, and I totally forgot. I guess I'll have to get him some.
Well, Elliot just turned 21.
Yeah.
That's why we were talking about birthdays. But when we were talking about, well, we don't really want stuff. We need experiences. But then you said, however, I'll take a Gibson Les Paul.
Yeah.
Somebody told us there was like 3 guitars we needed. That was one. A Fender Strat, I think. And what was the third one? Do you remember?
I don't.
Well, I guess we could.
But I need a bass.
We could always, having a nice bass.
I mean, I've got that. Good. I've got an acoustic electric, but it's not.
Yeah,
really,
it's not quite the.
It's not
quite the thing that. Now, I'm not a bass player, but I like the sound of a Music Man. I like the sound of a Music Man bass running through a Ampeg 810. Making your shirt flutter as it plays.
I don't think I want to get an Ampeg 810 though.
Hey, Matt Muckle is here. Matt, I hope you're.
Although I know that 12th Fret has several.
yes, they do.
While we were there, they were rolling in like 3 or 4 of them.
Matt has been out on tour quite a bit, playing drums for Pretty Boy Floyd. Doing the thing, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, I can't wait till our paths cross, man. I gotta get a Matt Muckle, Fred Fisher hug going, right? Did you disappear, producer?
No.
Oh, there you are.
No.
There you are. Yeah, so 12th Fret Music is located at 671 South Capitol Boulevard in downtown Boise, Idaho.
And where is that exactly? Oh, it's right across the little side street from the library with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
And across Capitol from Julia Davis Park.
Yeah. But we're thankful that 12th Fret Music.
And directly next to.
Wow, here we go.
FedEx.
Directly. Yeah. Good morning, Thomas Schuster. Thomas is here. All right. So as people are joining us, we'll go over some of the holidays of today, which I normally write them down, but they are here on my phone.
All right.
If it'll focus. It is National Tortilla Chip Day. You see that? February 24th holiday.
Uh-oh.
It is World...
That coincides with Taco Tuesday.
Yes, it does. Oh, so there's your marching orders for later, Mrs. Fisher. You could be on the taco making kick. Now, and when 9 p.m. rolls around tonight, I'll be ready for 2 tacos.
But we had tacos
Please.
on Sunday.
Well, but it's Tuesday. So the other, it is also, not that anybody, this is just goofiness right here. It is also World Bartender Day.
Oh.
National Trading Card Day. Now, Matt Muckle might remember this, and I think mostly only musicians remember this. But you know, you had the baseball playing cards, right?
Yeah.
For a brief moment, I think it was the late 80s or early 90s, they were making musician trading cards. And I still have one that has Ace Frehley on it.
Well, I remember getting something.
And some of the guys from Warrant, I think, also.
I remember getting something either in the late 70s or early. It was when I still lived in New York. So at the oldest, I was in 3rd grade, and that would have been like 80.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember getting, it was like a pack of gum, and it was in the shape of a record.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that? And so like I remember getting, and then you didn't know what you were going to get. Like you had to open it to find out what you were going to get.
Right. Yeah.
And I remember getting Yes, and I think it was Rush, and I was not happy because I didn't know who those bands were.
Oh man.
So I think I traded with somebody, but yeah, because I wanted like Diana Ross or somebody like that, right?
Well, I mean, Diana Ross is cool too.
Yeah.
Matt Muckle says yes, he had those. He had Ace and Gene.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I have just a little small stack of them, but I know for sure Ace Frehley is among them, and a couple of the guys from Warrant. Man, I know there's. I can't remember. I'll have to dig through the archives to see what I can find. So there you go. Today is also National Steak Burger Day.
Steak burger.
Yeah. A day dedicated to the popular thin patty burger. There you go. Is a steak burger actual steak, or is it
I don't know. I'm
ground
confused
beef that's just cooked really thin?
Well, have I ever heard of a steak burger? I don't know that I've ever heard of one. I'm just picturing like a New York steak sitting on a bun. This does not make sense to me.
No, it says it's a thin slice. It's a thin meat.
Well, then that sounds like roast beef.
No.
Like Arby's.
No. Matt says he remembers the smell of the bubble gum.
Yeah.
And Matt, now that you say that, I too, I can smell it myself. Yeah. It's funny, like when you think about stuff from your past like that, you do this little time travel, and you can imagine those smells.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm pretty sure any of us who go back to our childhood from the mid 70s, early 80s, the smell of cigarette smoke was a pretty present thing. Pretty much,
especially in my house. Ugh.
Pretty much anywhere that you went.
My mom smoked. What were they called? Now I forgot.
Cigarettes?
No, they had some menthol.
Oh yeah.
George, so when I was little, George smoked Cools.
With the K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I'm forgetting what my mom smoked, but hers were menthol. And if you can imagine this, like she would let me take a cigarette out of her little fancy cigarette purse. She had it was like a coin purse to keep your cigarettes in. And she would let me actually put one in my mouth and like taste that menthol.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. I had no interest in smoking it, obviously, but for whatever reason, I liked that menthol thing. I don't know why she would let me do that.
I think that. Well, I remember my dad sometimes would drink a bottle of beer, and then he would have just a little bit left in the bottom of it. And when my sister Ariana was really little, he would let her carry that bottle around and suck on that last couple little.
Oh my gosh.
Matt says he's never tried cigarettes. Yuck. I have not either.
So when I turned
Ah.
18, we went down to the zoo, aka became Bogies.
Yep.
We went down there to watch some bands play, and it was actually it might have been like the next day after I turned 18, because I know I turned 18 on a Friday, and we had a basketball game, and I was the mascot, so I had to be at the game.
Yeah.
And then anyway, so it had to have been the next day. It had to have been a Saturday night. And this one guy we were friends with, Mike Allen, that I also worked at the movie theater with, he was meeting us down there. And so we thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny, because everybody knew how much I hated cigarettes and smoking. We thought it would be funny if I looked like I was smoking a cigarette. So I don't know whose cigarettes they were, but they gave me this cigarette, and I had it between my fingers, and I would put it in my mouth and pretend to smoke it. And so
and then you inhaled, didn't you?
I did, on accident. And it was the weirdest, like, I hated the feeling.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you look at when you're taking like health class, and they're like, this is what your lungs look like, and they're showing all the little tiny bits that.
Did you imagine your lungs just instantly were just a disaster?
I felt like every single one of those little bits inside my lungs just went, ah! Like they all went prickly. And my eyes just got really big. I don't think I coughed, but I was just like, oh my gosh. And they're like, did you inhale? I'm like, yes. And that's the only time. And it was awful. And I think it was right after he showed up, and he was like, what are you doing? And we laughed and laughed and laughed. And then I accidentally inhaled it. And then I gave it back to whoever, or put it out or whatever.
Yeah.
But I went to the bathroom to wash my hands and get that smell off my hands, and it would not come off.
Yeah.
My hands smelled like cigarettes for like 2 days. I was like, this is awful. Get it off of me.
As you know, it now I don't remember the year that it started, but when they started banning smoking in all these public places, and that
like the government, it started with the government places, and I think that was in 90, because there was like a fire in the Capitol, like somebody
but this was a nationwide thing.
Well, in Idaho, and so somebody had dumped like their ashtray into a trash can, and then it caught fire.
They caught the Capitol on fire, the Capitol building.
Yeah.
But my point being is that, you'd come home from playing in the bar all night, and then you'd come in the garage and you'd completely just shed all your clothes, and then immediately to the shower, and that, like Matt talking about, smells like a bubble gum, right? Like when you get in the shower and you're just drenched in cigarette smoke, that
nasty smell,
that weird smell that's now sort of got this emulsion to it from the water.
Emulsion.
Yeah. And you look down at the water, and the water is even like got like this yellow tint to it. You're like, oh my gosh, and I've been breathing that all night. Right?
So gross. Yeah.
Seal says he's smoked maybe 2 cartons in 38 years.
Wow.
I just look cool with a cig in my lip. I could get high off of nicotine by putting it behind my ear.
Oh, weird.
Wow. And at the age of 6, his cousins gave him some skull. Yeah. And clove cigarettes. Oh, those are gross too.
Those are really strong.
Well, enough about the cigarette thing.
Yeah.
I think I dragged us into that conversation.
Yeah, I don't even remember how.
Well, the last few days have been kind of interesting. So last night, my band Midline, we premiered our very new music video for our song called The Way I Know You. And that happened last night at 7:30 on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you can go to Midline Official Band on YouTube and see the brand new video.
Yep.
Which was filmed right here in this very room and put together by the producer, Mary Fisher.
Yeah.
It was very cool. It was fun because, you put that out there, and then you get your friends and fans watching it with you, because we do this kind of live chat celebration thing of it. And the feedback was great. And then closer friends start messaging the band, each person in the band individually, just telling, getting text messages or messages through Facebook. about how much they liked it, which is super cool because you spend. Now, I think that Anthony said last night that JB first sent that riff to him
in March.
in March of last year, so a year
Yeah.
ago, almost a year ago. And you work the song, you massage it, and you bring it to life. And then once you have it record ready, then you record it, which is kind of easy for us to do since we have all the ability to do that. And then send it off to Chris Collier, and Chris mixed it and sent it back. And then you decide on a release date for the song, which was a week ago Friday, right? Mary was on the 13th.
It was on the 13th.
Yeah, so we released the song and then released the video last night. So you spent all this time putting this stuff together. Good morning, Anthony Fagiano, right here. The singer for Midline is in the house.
Everybody, hey there, little stonky.
Everybody give a warm welcome to Anthony Fagiano. Very nice. We need a, well, let's see. Let's see if I found this once. And, okay, so Anthony Fagiano's here.
Oh. Where'd you find the applause button?
It's under media assets.
Oh, media assets.
Yeah. And what about now that we're completely distracted, right?
What other media assets are in there?
So check this out.
Oh.
How about this one? Anthony Fagiano. Or right?
Is there laughing?
I don't know. Let's check out.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You're gonna get out of hand.
Yeah, I'm already out of hand. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we got right now, but this is a pretty good one.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh my gosh.
There we go. That's Anthony Fagiano's big welcome to the show. I should have done that when I saw Matt Muckle pop up. I should have had the applause track ready to go for Matt.
Well, yeah.
So those moments like last night are pretty special because you work on something for a long time and then it's out there in the world in a matter of minutes. Just a matter of minutes. It's out to the world after spending all that time putting it together, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then here's something completely different that also happened. Short notice gig.
Oh, yeah.
150 songs. No rehearsal. All to a click. Live band karaoke.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
and there was absolutely no way to prepare for something like that the way that I would normally want to prepare. Yeah. So the question becomes, what do you rely on when you can't rely on preparation?
Oh.
That's the
Well, first of all,
yes.
Maybe we should really explain real quick what live band karaoke is.
I'm going to.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to be talking about this morning, because sometimes in music and in life, you just have to be ready. You just have to be ready. So, the band Jukebox, which I had the drummer John Pisano on the show. Was that last fall, Mary, when John was here? I think it was, because the wedding season was kind of starting to taper off.
Okay.
Seal says at a young age he wanted to be a sound effects person. And that seems like an intriguing job, Seal, because I remember, watching on PBS little specials about how they would make certain sounds from movies. And I thought that was really interesting. Like how they came up with the sound for the lightsaber, right?
Yeah. Well, but they'll even do sound effects for like walking.
Yeah.
So you'd think that you would hear the person walking, just,
they have a pair of shoes on their hands. And
but
they're
but then they're literally accentuating. Is that the right word?
I think so.
The walking by being in their sound booth going clunk, clunk, clunk. Yeah. Stuff that you wouldn't think. We always think it's like the sound of somebody getting hit and you hear the psh,
right? All right, so back to our main story.
All right.
So the band Jukebox is by and large a wedding and corporate band. and their drummer John Pisano was on the show, and that's what I was asking you. Like, I think he was on.
Are you sure it wasn't the spring? Seems like it was a long time ago, not just fall.
Well, now I don't know, but
Oh, it was during the week. It's not like he was gone.
Not important.
All right.
So the other day, I'm sitting here teaching a drum lesson, and I get a phone call from John, which John knows I'm teaching during the day. So I know John well enough that he probably wouldn't just call me like for no reason. So,
wow.
no, I had a feeling it was important. So I took the call. Turns out that John had to have some emergency attention given to his left wrist or arm, leaving him to where he couldn't drum for like a month.
Yeah.
And he said, "Fred, I need you." So because I wanted to help out my buddy, I said yes to 3 gigs that they have. And then he said, "Well, here's the kicker." Is Jukebox started doing this once a month thing at Maddie's where they do live band karaoke. So it's like karaoke, except instead of singing to a track, you're singing along with the live band.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And so the way that Jukebox has it worked out is that they have 150 songs available for people to choose from that the band would have to play at a moment's notice, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't that I was going to have to play 150 songs, but it was that
you had to know them.
I had to be able to play
any of the 150 songs,
not knowing which ones they would be. Like nobody would ever know, because
it's kind of like when you study for a test.
Yeah.
And the teacher makes it pretty clear that you need to study all this stuff, but there's only 10 questions.
Except that you have time to study.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
You've done it's a different time frame, but usually a test is like, oh, well, you've got a week to go through your notes and study or whatever. But
well, on that,
but they're not asking every question. Every question isn't like what you had to learn.
Well, see, that's the difference in actually knowing the material versus remembering the material.
Right.
Which, when I went to school, I lived in that land of I only have to remember this information long enough to pass.
To take the test,
yes.
Yeah. And so
and
that's
not
like
well at all.
Yeah, and so then that would be like the first test of the semester, and then you get to the final, and that information has to come back up again. You're like,
yeah,
I don't remember.
So John wasn't able to play, and I accepted the gig, and then after I got off the phone later on in the day when I told Mary about it, I had like this feeling wash over me of like, what did I just agree to do? Like, what?
Yeah, the look on your face was pretty funny. You're like, I just said yes. I think I just said yes to something, and now I'm a little worried. Like, well, or you.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe you hadn't officially given him your yes, but you were like, what am I getting into?
Well, not only that, I mean, I had a lot that I'm preparing for anyway, because this Thursday night I'm playing with Cliff at the Sapphire Room. And, I've played with Cliff for 8 years now with his band. And so by and large, all that material I do know, but there's 3 brand new original songs that we've never performed for people before. And then a couple specialty songs that we're going to play. And so those are kind of like those things I really want to have good to go.
Yeah.
And then Gary Tackett's here. I'll be playing with Gary Tackett on March 20th at the Egyptian Theater doing the Eric Clapton Crossroad Tribute show, and just refreshing on that material as well. And then have all this new stuff from Jukebox ready to go. So short notice request. Live band karaoke, 150 songs, no rehearsal. Nope. Because first of all, like, when am I personally going to listen to 150 songs, let alone learn 150 songs, and then even have...
Well, you had a week to do it.
Have a rehearsal, right? Well, it's not like I just have a week of nothing.
Uh-huh.
right? I still have all my teaching
I
to
know.
do
I know.
and all of those other commitments. So, uh, would you say yes to a gig like that if somebody just called you in a pinch and said, "Hey, I need you to do this"? Would you actually do that?
Well, it's not like there's 150 different drum beats going on, right? I mean, at some point it's kind of like, oh, this is the same as that kind of.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so,
So the I think it's the Navy SEALs have this saying, and I don't think it's original to them. It might have been an old Greek
okay.
thing, but
Greek.
yeah,
Okay.
it's the saying is, and I might be paraphrasing a little bit, is like when the pressure's on, you don't rise to the occasion. You sink to the level of your training.
What?
Yes.
That sounds weird.
No, it's so the core message in that is like under extreme pressure, you don't magically perform better than your preparation. You revert to the habits and skills you have built through consistent practice,
Oh, okay.
right?
I just don't like the word sink.
Well, it's like I said, I was paraphrasing. Like
Uh-huh.
some of this that I looked up, like because I heard that saying a long time ago. So Greg's question, and it's a good question, is I guess the question would be how obscure are the songs? Would they be considered standards?
uh
Yes. Now,
well, John has this program that he uses that it lists all of like what the most popular songs are for wedding gigs.
mhm,
So they're they've got current songs, they've got standards, they've like it kind of, and it's like country, rock, pop. Um, so I mean, you've got Aretha Franklin in there, you've got Tina Turner in there, you've got Dua Lipa,
yep,
um, yeah,
Kesha.
Kesha,
There's a lot of new artists on that list. A
yeah,
lot of very current
Tanya
new
Tucker,
stuff.
Shania Twain,
Yeah, and Bon Jovi, and
yeah,
I mean out of the list of stuff, there was probably 10, 15 songs that I knew fairly well, even though I had never played them. So, but
yeah,
the the gig was even larger than just like keeping time, right? There was it it's everything's to a click, everything.
yeah.
Not only was everything to a click, but there's also backing tracks with everything. And so with backing tracks, there's no
You can't screw up.
you can't there's no oh, we missed that. It's like the track doesn't care. The track is doing the track thing, and so you you just got to go. You got to keep playing. You can't you can't divert from the track.
Right.
And then in addition to that, there's vocal cues, and this is about as much warning as you get. Is that they have a separate microphone for the band that when they talk into it goes to everybody's in ears and says the next song that we're going to play is whatever they say. Now, I may or may not recognize the title or the artist, uh, but then the track goes 1, 2, ready, play, and then you're in. Like there's no oh, okay, play the melody of that really quick. Like give me a couple notes. There's none of that's happening. So you're just jumping in, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So so you gotta have that, and then reading the body language of everybody else in the band becomes really important too. To rely on cues, like
Yeah.
you could motion to somebody like here. I do that all the time when I'm teaching my students. Like I could just go, okay, just a little point, and they know, okay, now here's where we're going next. Um, now it's live band karaoke. So you've got these people coming up that sing. Now some of them are
Actually,
okay.
most of them were pretty good.
Yeah. But if the singer starts lagging behind a little bit or getting ahead,
Yeah.
you cannot follow the singer. You're on the grid. You're on
Yeah.
the grid going. There's like
Yeah, that was pretty entertaining.
And so sometimes you kind of feel like a pull to want to allow the singer, the guest singer, to pull you in one direction or another, and you cannot let that happen.
Yeah. Well, excuse me. It was hard to tell from where I was sitting because it was actually really loud in there, and it was hard to separate the vocalist from the music to hear how they were doing. But the one guy who was more like spoken word, and I won't say his name. I don't want to embarrass him. It was an older gentleman. But that was, to me, that's like, when I go see karaoke, I want to see somebody that just like botches it like that because it's just so entertaining. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Kind of like that scene in My Best Friend's Wedding when the girl's singing at the karaoke and she's like, no, I can't do it. Anyway, this guy is like literally just, it's like he's reading poetry. He wasn't singing at all.
Yeah.
And he would be finishing the line as like the line was supposed to be starting.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And so the extra funny thing about it was, and like the band was so pro, is that Athena is right there next to him singing along, like trying to keep him on track. Like, okay, if I sing loud enough, he'll follow me.
Yeah.
He didn't.
No.
And bless her heart. And she just had such a good attitude. Like she had such a sweet spirit. And then Fritz and Alf, I was pretty convinced they just turned him off in their ears because their reaction was more like they were just going and playing like they had no idea what he was doing. That may not be true, but it was pretty funny watching them just keep it together. And then you back there, you could clearly hear him.
Yeah.
And you were trying to keep it together. And every now and then the smile would start creeping in. Like, oh my gosh, exactly. This is crazy.
Well, and the other thing is like those people that are coming up and guest singing, that's like,
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's very special to them. It
like, takes a lot of courage.
You're making their night. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I would never get up and try to sing. At least I don't think I would. Right? Because
well, you did at our wedding.
I mean, I'm foolish enough as it is. I don't need to add to that reputation. So
and the audience was great too because the audience just cheered him on.
Yeah,
right?
The audience loved it.
Yeah,
the audience loved it. Good morning, Jamie Vink.
Okay, I gotta go. I gotta leave.
Oh, you gotta leave. You gotta. So the producer's taken off to take our chef in training to culinary school. Hopefully, he'll be going to driving school soon. That guy needs a license. Definitely needs a license. All right, I'm shutting your mic off, Marinara. Off she is. So, bye. So no way to learn 150 songs. So what are you actually relying on? What are we relying on? Because you can't rely on memorization of the songs. There was zero time to do that. Zero time. The only opportunity I had was to scan the songs. Now, this is where Jukebox is very, very organized. Jukebox is very, very organized on everything that they do. That's why it works so well. Awesome communication. There is like no making plans and then suddenly that plan changed and then suddenly the plan changed again and then it changed. It's like, this is what we're doing. and which makes it easy, especially when you start dealing with a lot of different people. So great communication, well organized. They've got all their songs in a file with the clicks and the cues and the tracks. Anthony, remind me to smack you. Okay, now side note, see the sticker on the brim of my hat? Where is it? I've been told so many times that you don't take the sticker off. And the times that I have taken the sticker off, there's a little circle or square where the sticker was because the glue of the sticker is in the fabric of the hat. And then that spot of the hat becomes dirty. Like you always have like this circle or a square where the dust gets into the glue from the sticker. And so even if the sticker's not there, there's this spot on your hat of dust that's in the sticky. So it's never a clean bill. So there you go. I'm just leaving the sticker on. But Jamie, this is not a hat that you bend the brim on, okay? See, Clyde likes the sticker. Clyde likes. See, Anthony, I know you didn't know that. That's why I had to tell you. And then Mary thinks, well, if you took it off to begin with, I wouldn't have that issue. Actually, you do, because the stickiness of the sticker immediately it just embeds itself. I have a couple that I took the sticker off of when it was brand new, and every single one of them have a spot on there. Boy, did we get sidetracked or what with stickers on the hat. Maybe I should make a whole episode about brim bending and sticker removal. All right. Well, I was praising how organized Jukebox was, and now Sunny is here. She says I can hear Anthony and Clyde giggling in the living room. Well, I don't think I have a. We can do this. Oh, Thomas, stickers and bare feet. Oh, now we're making a show. Now we're making a show. At any rate, very organized. So to be able to play a gig like that, relying on years of listening to songs and pattern recognition, like Mary had mentioned, like, well, not all 150 songs have a different drum beat. Like a lot of them have the same drum beat in them. And so when I'm teaching a lot of my students, I start them off with the 20 drum beats that every drummer should know. And the reason I do that is because those 20 drum beats that I have picked out are so standardized, I guess you could say. There's these certain drum beats exist in thousands and thousands of songs. One I call the money making drum beat. The other is the 4 on the floor, your basic rock beat, and things of that nature. And then there's combinations of those that go together too. So pattern recognition. So Greg says you rely on prior knowledge and learned aesthetic. I'm not sure how to say that word. Territory knowledge. That being said, even doing tons of double blind gigs over the years, that doesn't sound like a gig that I could do adequately. And that might be harder for like a guitar player, Greg, because you got to know all these melodies. Where my number one job is to keep steady time, and stay on that click. Even if I played through a break, like there's some forgiveness in that, right? I got to keep that beat happening through the whole song. Like pattern recognition and song form awareness. Like so many songs, every song has a beginning and an end, right? So there's the bookends of that. Beginning and an end, verse, chorus, bridge, solo, bridge, chorus out. Like there's some formulated things that song form awareness could be also part of that pattern recognition. Confidence in keeping time, trust in your internal clock, and experience with dynamics. All of those play a big role in it. This show's been going for over 3 years now. And Jamie says it helps if there is someone semi-directing the band. Yeah. So I leaned heavily on Alf and Athena on that gig. Now, Alf and I have played music together since 1995 or 4. Maybe it was 1994 when we started playing music together. And we had periods where we didn't play music together, but he and I, as a rhythm section, have always been kind of connected at the hip and very easy to play along to. So yeah, there was Alf directing, and Alf has this thing on on his microphone where it's a switch, so he can step on the switch and he would lean into the mic and real quick go, Fred, this drum beat goes do ba do ba da do ba, and I would like lightly tap it, and he's like, okay, cool, and then you hear 1, 2, ready, play, and immediately you have to be like, what did I just play? So yeah, it was great direction, and reading body language really, really helped. And James made a good point too. Although it wouldn't necessarily be correct, you could play over 50% of any commercial-oriented music with one drum beat. Yeah. I mean, us drummers, we're going to play on the 2 and 4. And if we're playing popular music, dance music, you're going to have that backbeat, a lot of 4 on the floor stuff. But, just jumping in, like maybe there's a kind of a halftime groove and then it goes to a 2-beat thing. And I had those people helping me go, okay, here we go. And the gig went really pretty well considering. and talking about like this, like years of listening and pattern recognition, in my high school days, along with trying to learn Rush songs as best as I probably could, flounder my way through Rush songs, is sometimes I would spend hours. I would start at the bottom of the dial on the radio and I would turn it until I heard music, and I would just play along to whatever I heard. And I would do that until a commercial would come on, and then I would turn the dial up to the next station that was playing music, and I'd start playing along to that music, and again until a commercial. And I would work myself up and down the radio dial, and I would do that for hours and wouldn't even think twice about it. Like I could spend 3 or 4 hours drumming to whatever just popped in my head. And so I think even going back that far in my life, I think that was good preparation for being able to do things like this now, like what happened on Friday night. This past Friday night is when this took place. So yeah, so that's where that saying from the Navy, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. Like you rely on what you've already been trained to do. Now, I wouldn't say that playing drums is easy. Each instrument that we learn, there's a needed skill set to happen. There's been a couple of my other musician friends who do coaching and stuff like that, who've been putting out content about getting better gigs, higher paying gigs, and what does that require? And so many people would comment on these different things from these different people saying, well, you have to be really good at your instrument. Well, yeah, you have to be. That's like an assumed thing that you have to be good on your instrument. Like I always tell my students, like ability is a must and attitude is number one. Like can you go and hang and not be a jerk? Can you be pleasant to be around? It's so easy to either be a little ego about things and puffy chest and I know how to do these kind of things and like overly confident, or you're going to show up, you're going to help the band load in and doing whatever you can to assist and be of service to the situation more than just getting on stage and playing. And then can you have a normal conversation about anything and just hang? Like those are all important things to know how to do. Hopefully just your personality alone would just like your moral compass, right? It's going to be the thing that is going to help drive all of that. So part of this whole thing, like I mentioned, I accepted the gig, not from a perspective of I'm going to be paid, which I am, but or to prove that I could do it. The bottom line in all of that was my friend needed my help and I was willing to help my friend. That was like the number one concern. Like I've been in that situation too, where I suddenly needed somebody to take over for me. Like going back to when I broke my leg, for example, that that was like a major thing. And I had several friends just suddenly step up and say, we're here to help. Just tell us what we need to do, without any thought beyond that of being compensated or praised and recognized or anything like that. So I just had a friend that needed my help, and I was like, yeah, man, I got you. Let's do it. Okay, what does that involve? Oh boy. Seal says you have to have a good ear and not be tone deaf. Yes, very true. You got to be listening. Your listening skills have got to be on point. You got to be ready to go with that. When I'm teaching my students how to play songs, there's a lot of things that are happening. They got a lot of tabs open in their brain, right? And all of those need attention. So maybe they're looking at the page and they're going, "Oh, I'm going to play this drum beat this whole song." So they're concentrating on playing that drum beat, and they're playing along to the music, but they're not really listening to the music. And so that's where like the listening skills have to start to develop. Is not only are you playing that drum beat, but you're listening to what's actually happening in the music and how your part fits with that. And so I just think of the decades of doing that allowed me to be able to say yes to a gig like that. Is that I didn't only live in this one little narrow lane of music, but I know how to listen and hopefully have good intuition on what should be played. That's another good thing. You know, in like kind of the core or the life application of this might be emergency leadership moments, or being asked to step up suddenly and say yes to those things, and then staying calm under that pressure, uh listening more than talking. Like, jukebox isn't my band. I don't go and play with jukebox with some intent or idea that I need to change anything that they do or how they operate or anything like that. I'm a guest of the band. And so there's no room, and I would never do this anyway, to like observe what's happening and go, if you actually did this instead of that. It's not my place. It's not my place to say any of those things. So just listen, be observant of what's going on around you, and ask, how can I help? Give me a job, give me something to do. And that's what I did. Tell me what to do. I'm just standing here. Oh, we need you to bring that case from over here to over here and take these things out of it. Or at the end of the night, okay, this is the order and we do things. Unplug these things and put these bags around them. Cool. All right, take that to the truck first. Oh my gosh. Thomas, I know I have a sticker on my hat. I thought we went over this. There we go. When you're playing gigs and you're in the moment, something out of nowhere can come up and be distracting, just like Thomas and his sticker comment like that. Is that going to derail my conversation? Greg, excuse me. Let's put Greg's comment up here. Greg says, one of the things I discovered about myself is that my level of detail is very granular. If I have the time, I will be able to absorb the fine details, but I am just learning on the fly. I take very general approach, but a lot of the tiny details are lost in favor of a complete idea. Yep. Yeah. That's my main thing too, Greg. In a extremely short notice pressure situation, like if John had messaged me and said, "Hey, I need you to play this gig and there's 30 songs to learn." That I could confidently go, I have time to analyze 30 songs, make my notes, and uh, stay to the script, so to speak. Right? This is the outline of what we're doing. Boom, cool, got it. Which is exactly what's happening with because I'm playing with them on Saturday for a wedding, and I have that list of songs and I have my notes started on it. So that I can look at that, and I will get some of those more finer details. It's going to happen. So, and it makes my confidence level go up because I feel secure and like, oh, this is how this song goes. So, um, that's how that's working for me. And then trusting fundamentals over overthinking. I think that's part of maybe what Greg is talking about too, is like trusting the fundamentals and not overthink everything. Like I think, Greg, like if you have the chord structure down and you follow that chord structure, then you've got most of what you need, right? You got most of what you need. You have the framework there to the song. So if anybody else wants to weigh in, like where in your life, I'd be curious to know, like where in your life were you asked to suddenly step up and you said yes to that. It doesn't even have to be a music thing, although music would be great. And I think Greg has made it clear that he's had that happen off and on throughout his musical career too. Is, hey, we suddenly need a guitar player to do this thing, and you said yes. You said yes. Who did I miss? Did I miss anything besides Thomas messing with me and the stickers on my hat? Yeah, and yep. I think I already mentioned James saying you could play over 50% of any commercial oriented music with one drum beat. Yeah. Especially the dance stuff, you could rely on the 4 on the floor approach pretty consistently. And it helps to know where you start and stop those things. And sometimes it's just that bass drum is just pummeling the entire song. Entire time it's going. Yeah, Greg, many times. Exactly. Uh, so I think, I mentioned playing along to the radio and moving up and down the aisle, and I would do that for hours. I've mentioned this before in the past. I was on a recording session in LA and knew I would have to play to the click, but didn't practice playing to the click because I got in my own way thinking, oh, I have pretty good time, which I did have pretty good time, but I didn't realize how much the time may ebb and flow throughout a song. Like if I filmed me playing live with this band and watched video, you'd probably go, it was pretty good. Not when you're under the microscope of the click, though. So I'm in LA and I'm doing this session, and it took me like 7 hours to record the first song because I had to take breaks, and I just I started sweating crazy trying to play, and that guy pulled me aside and said, "Look, if this was any other situation, you would have been fired from this session. We have to have a drummer that can come in and just nail this stuff and be done." And he said, "Do you want to be a drummer that makes money, or do you want to be a drummer that makes a lot of money?" And of course I said, "Well, I'd like to be a drummer that makes a lot of money." He's like, "Become friends with the click. Become friends with it. Learn to play to the metronome and have that skill ready to go." Now, some people out there watching this, like either right now or maybe in the future, may say things like, "You just feel it, man." No. I know what you mean, but no. Like if you want to be a working musician in today's climate, the landscape of the music business right now, you've got to be able to play with the click, and you got to be able to make it feel great. And you just have to have that skill. So that's something that I started doing mid 90s, I guess, is when all that took place. Probably around 1996-ish, 7. And ever since then, I've played with the click more and more and more and more. And I do it so much now that, like, with the click going, I almost don't even notice it even being there. Except for maybe the occasion that might come along where I might be a little bit amped up. Or, you just had a day where you're just tired and everything seems fast. or you're amped up and everything seems slow, that click can just keep you dialed in. Play with the click. Play with the click. Studying song forms deeply, which I do that a lot with students when we're learning songs. We really get very detailed about what's happening and how long stuff happenings, and again, playing up and down the dial of the radio, I think that really helped. Train your ears. Socio was talking about using your ears, like listening, and you can hear the progression of music through the chord changes and knowing what's happening. Train your ears. Working on dynamics, knowing when to play loud, when to play quiet, and not just that, but like being consistent with your playing. I know that is extremely important, especially in the recording world, is consistently hitting the snare drum exactly the same, or the bass drum, or that you don't have these weird inconsistencies. You know, Greg here is also a recording engineer, and when you see the waveforms on your tracks and they're erratic, you're making the mix engineer's job nearly impossible, or you're just adding hours, if not days, to the workload because you can't play consistent. Learn to play consistent. Have a good blend of how your hi-hat and your snare drum and your bass drum are all working together. And then the toms, and not playing the cymbals louder than everything else. All of these things come into play. One good thing is to play with different musicians often. I think when we were younger, like I was so dedicated to one band and just being in that band. And then as I got older and looking for other opportunities, then you start playing with this group of people and this group of people and this group of people. And sometimes it's a good experience and other times not so much, but at least you get exposed to how other people work and how other people think and other people's ability levels. And so you're just through that, you learn how to navigate all of those different things and put all that in your toolbox. Thomas is asking, has having your own studio made you a better player? I think probably in some ways it has, Thomas, because I record so frequently now. Like in the past, like when I mentioned just a moment ago, is like if you're in a band, like Midline, for example, we would spend, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years writing songs. And then you'd save up your money and you'd go and record that group of songs, that body of work. And then you may never enter the studio again for another 5 years or something. I am every week recording music all the time, and for different people and for different things and different styles of music and things that make you go, we're trying to achieve this. How do we do it? Well, let's experiment. Let's get this thing happening. So it's yeah, I think so. James says, even with the click feel can be attained by playing with the space between the notes. Click means staying in time, not robotic. Yep, exactly. And James understands that because he's got years, decades of experience doing that. Greg says, I try to separate all those hats. I take days to edit and edit only without thinking about mixing at all. I find that editing as I am trying to mix derails the process. Yeah, so you go through and make all your edits and then you do the mix, right, Greg? That's what I'm getting from that. Yeah. You have your process, and that's really important to have that. The other thing is getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Being in situations that not uncomfortable like on a personal level necessarily. Like I guess being in sketchy situations. Although that could add to your street smarts of how the music business works. But some people won't do things or try things because it makes them uncomfortable, when in reality, it could be a very, very good thing for them. Like I'm fairly comfortable talking to people and fairly comfortable of striking up conversations with a complete stranger. Uh, that whole networking thing is reaching out to people and making connections, where in the past I would have been completely nervous about doing that. But the more I did it, the more I got out of my comfort zone, the easier that became, and the easier it still becomes. So I like to tell my students, like, the more you get out of your comfort zone, the larger your comfort zone becomes, because you've just grown in those areas. So I think that's all really important stuff. Like, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Dave Schroeder, dude, what's happening? I see you pop up every once in a while. Did you get a chance to watch the new Midline video last night? They're on YouTube, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave has been here and has recorded a song that's out there. It's pretty good stuff. Dave, if you want, you can put in the comment section a link to your song that we did. That would be cool. Epic. Yeah, man. Thank you. That was a fun one. I love making music videos and writing songs and recording and putting a video to it. It feels like it completes the package of that song, and just the whole process of that is pretty exciting. Sometimes it's stressful, like everybody's vision coming together is a fun process to make that happen. And I mentioned at the beginning of the show, like, when you write this song, you kind of massage the song, and I think everybody knows or is aware that I'm really into lyrics. Like, I really want to know what the lyrics are about, because that helps me shape the drum part to help elevate what's going on with the lyrics. And then, like, the imagery that comes to mind depending on the subject matter of the lyrics, and just bringing all those pieces together in a visual form is pretty fun to do. So wrapping this up, just kind of goes in with what I was just saying, is like, releasing something that you worked on for a long time and carefully built and intentionally crafted and then shared with people, and people who've been fans of Midline since the beginning, since 1990, the birth of the band. Wow, that's been 36 years ago now. That's crazy to think. The band's still going, and some of those people have been on the journey with the band that entire time, and it's pretty cool to still have some of those people on board with the band, versus walking into a room knowing that at any given moment these people are going to choose one of 150 songs, and you just got to go. You just got to start playing. There's no preparation for that specifically, other than all the decades of work that I've done to be able to be that kind of drummer that can do that. I think that's probably the bottom line of all of that. But both, however, are years of unseen work. Like, when we release a new song or a new video, and I don't know, I think that song's about 4 minutes long. The new one, The Way I Know You, it's about 4 minutes. People hear that song and they go, "Yeah, it's a cool song. I like that song." Or they see the video along with it and they think, "Oh, that's a cool video," not knowing that the set we created took an entire day to put that set together. So I probably worked on that for like 14 hours, helping put the scenery together, and then the time involved to record each individual's part several times, and then the amount of time Mary spent sorting through all of the footage and narrowing down and picking the clips that made sense to be in the video, and then the color. Like, you're talking, I don't know, 40 hours of time, and then not once the video shoot's done, then you got to put all that stuff away and put the room back together, right? So it's, you got all of that stuff that's going on behind the scenes, not to mention presenting the riff to the band, and then the band putting their own thing on it, and developing that takes so much time. And just like sitting with the band, like the amount of time spent with the instrument to be proficient at your instrument. All of that adds up. James Harrison. Nate Morton and Jim Riley have posted very interesting videos of them playing while allowing you to hear what's in their cans, meaning your ears, not only a click, but verbal cues and directions. Yep. And that's exactly what Jukebox has too, James. They've got 1, 2, ready, go, or 1, 2, ready, play. And then you're in. Sometimes if there's a track playing along with that, like backing tracks, you can quickly get a sense of where it's going. But if there's not, and the band starts playing, you're like, am I supposed to be playing now or not? And sometimes it'll say 1, 2, ready, play. And then maybe there's 4 bars, and then it says vocals enter. And then it'll say verse or B verse or chorus or N 2, 3, 4. Yes. And Mary says you also have the 50 plus songs that you need to learn for the wedding this weekend. Yeah, I had mentioned that, and I've got that pretty well going. Like I'm not, everything with that's rolling pretty fine because I know exactly what the songs are and exactly what I need to play. And right next to the title of some of the songs, I'll write out the drum beat. Now it might be like a 2-bar drum beat or 1-bar drum beat, or I might write V, meaning verse, and what the drum beat is for the verse. If it's different from the chorus, I'll put CH and write what the drum beat is for the chorus. And usually if I have just those 2 little hints ready to go and I could just glance down and see that, once I hear the music, it all comes back to me at that moment. Like, oh, this is exactly what I got to play. And like even that even works for me, like when there's a break in the song where you got to stop playing, or a specific drum fill that has to happen. I think, asking yourself is, am I ready for an opportunity like that? Am I doing the quiet work today so I'll be ready when the call comes? And when it does, do you have time to prepare? You'll just have time to play. So that's how that was all working. Dave says, I have another song to send your way pretty soon. That would be awesome, Dave. Let's do it. Let's do it. Did you find your link and post it here? I don't see it. I do not see it. Well, if you're honest on with this live right now and you see Dave Schroeder here in the comments, you can go to Dave's Facebook page, and I'm sure Dave somewhere probably has a link to the song that we did over here. It was really cool. I think if I remember right, the way that one worked, Dave sent a track idea. You can't find it at the moment, bro. Dave sent us a recording of like a rough recording of the song, and then I believe Alf DeVerona played bass on that, and Christian Housel played keys on that, and we had the song put together. And then when Dave was in town, because Dave lives in Southern California, I believe, flew in and did vocals for it, and that's something that Mary recorded and mixed and produced all right here at FM Studios. So great stuff. Yeah, let's do it, Dave. That'd be awesome. Everybody, thanks for hanging out today and weighing in on my story. I'm headed out to go back to my eye doctor for the 4-week exam, I guess, to make sure that my eye is doing fine. My eye feels great. It's I can see, which is amazing. I think everybody noticed that I haven't gone like this in a long time, trying to read comments or put my glasses on to see. It's been great. It's been wonderful. I love being able to see. So I'm going to just go to the eye doctor, and we're going to do another follow-up exam, make sure everything is healed properly, which I don't have any reason to think otherwise. Otherwise, I think I would see or feel something that might not be right. So far, so good. So I'm going to go get checked out and get back to learning more songs for Saturday. And Cliff Miller live at the Sapphire Room this Thursday night. So there you go. It's going to be a great show. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.